is. It's literally my fault. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Can't even deny it. I was washing the dogs. I got both washed at the oops. My phone's volume is still on. I got both dogs washed within 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, I got the time. We're good. My husband and I, because, so as you all know, your girl's broke. Okay. Your girl ain't got no money. I'm just starting to get my money back. I think I've got another 2-3 weeks, maybe a little more, for me to be like at the balanced, hey, look, we're not struggling kind of situation. Well, I live in the South. I live where the banjos play. And I own a plethora of critters. So what happens every spring to every pet owner?
Hell.
Fleas. But that's damn close.
Oh, you mean what happens to you poor people down in the South and not us people out here in the dry climate where we don't have to worry about that shit.
You rich people out there in the mountains don't have to worry about these things, but we here in the South of America, not South America, the South of America. This is what I let Zorro and the other boys sleep on. It's a purple bed, but it's a little demo of purple bed.
Oh, cool.
So my animals are spoiled. But anyways, so the fleas exploded, but I haven't been able to get the flea medication because, number one, you can't just buy it for one animal when you've got 12. You have to buy it for all of them. And each dose costs, for the dogs, $60, and for the cats, $21. So that's a lot. And depending on how my vet is feeling, I also have to pay for each vet visit. So that's $75 a pet. So tack on 75 to each. Now with the cat one, I can get away with it easier because Revolution is one weight class pretty much, unless you have cats that weigh 20 plus. So as long as my pets are between 6 pounds and 17 pounds, we're good. Axel almost tips the scale. So I could just be like, oh, I'm just going to stock up on my animals Revolution for the next 10 months. But thankfully, usually once I do one round, and usually when I can afford the bug guy, one round is all I need. Because then your hair looks hot today, by the way.
That's shocking because I haven't brushed it. I'm literally, I haven't done shit today.
Girl, it's one of those weeks. It's March. And I know it sounds silly, but that's just how March is. I apologize to everyone last week that I didn't do a stream. When I tell you guys, all right, I don't normally talk about this shit. I know I come off, I assume, because even my friends, I didn't realize this till my friends always stop and like freeze when it happens. I apparently come off as a very hard bitch. It's very difficult to see me emotional. I might yell, but I don't know, Horror, if you get this about me. People don't see me as somebody who cracks. And then it takes a lot for me to crack.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl cracked. Your girl cracked hard. Because a lot was going on. I'm not going to go into detail, but I was fine and I was able to hold it in place. And then I fucked up. And see, what you guys don't realize is I can handle anything till I fuck up. And then, if everything is going wrong and on top of it, I screwed up, I'm done. It's over. Throw in the towel. And I fucked up $150 worth of fucking up.
Oof.
And it's not even my 150. It's my friend's 150. And my friend, for the first time, 2 of them at once in our friendship, saw me not only cry, but sob. Because when it's not an old poor. No, it's I get so mad I'm one of those people that the angrier I get, the more tears has. Star Son has emotions. I know.
It's like saying I have emotions.
And I know you do.
Where?
Listen, they there. I see them.
Are they in the room with me now?
They're behind you. No. And so it was just like everything circled at once. Because when I say, guys, I have 0 days off, I have 0 days off right now. I'm taking on more and more because it's because of me and no longer working for no system that we're in this situation. So it's got to be me. It's got to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like, that was the funniest part. This whole thing about me. Oh yeah, I'm a child abuser now, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's right. You were a part of it. You were a part of it, guys. I abuse children now.
Her children specifically.
Yeah, my own children. I need you to find them first. Somebody locate these children because I still can't find them.
Oh, that's just goes to show how abusive you are. You don't even know where the fuck they are.
Right? And it's I no longer work. They had to let go of the entire staff. Christian, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Christian asked what happened in the system. They let go of the entire staff. But yeah, I shared a video. This is totally not about animals. I apologize, guys. I shared a video where a young
Humans are animals too.
So this kid was definitely a little fucking animal. He was like 13 years old. Little, I want to say, going by the accent, he was Irish. Okay. And he was saying to a darker toned female cop the N-word over and over and over again. And then he's kicking her. And then he spit at her. And that's when the cop nailed him right across the cheek. And I was like, do it again. And
the fact she took him so long to do it is interesting.
It was because the problem is she can't lay a hand on a minor unless he assaults her first. And
he said he was kicking her.
Well, the kick and spit were kind of like
simultaneously,
at the exact same time.
Okay.
And I think it's the spit that sent her over the edge because that's like just so disrespectful. I would rather you kick me than spit at me. Spitting any bodily fluid that comes out of your orifices. And did you hear that? Because I just heard that, and I think I had to leave the room for a minute. Because I
didn't hear.
Take it away, horror, because I'm gonna go kill a cat. Hold on.
Okay, she's gonna go kill a cat. I don't know what. She's had a bad week. I've had a bad week. We're both. I have fibromyalgia. I don't know. I feel weird just talking. I mean, she was in the middle of her shit, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let her go. And now I'm like, well, do I just talk about my shit now? Hold on, let me get a pet.
Come here. Hold on, let me get a pet. That's what I hear from the other room.
There we go. This is Rudy. This is the father of all the puppies in the house. I feel much more comfortable talking about him. He looks a little freaked out.
I return.
He's always freaked out. He's a
I don't know
puppy.
what got knocked down. I don't know what they broke. I don't know what it was.
You never know. It's always funny.
I'll find out probably in an hour or so.
Yeah.
Because Starman ran to the store.
Oh.
To get milk because after we stream. Because he and I had to get... Like, this was my only day off today, guys. I filmed 3 videos and I couldn't even film them properly because all the cats... Yeah, come on. We know. What?
I want you to pick him up.
Yeah, I know. And you're wet, meaning you were part of the shit that was going on out there, weren't you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he hasn't... I've actually been getting a little annoyed with him this week because I now can't stop at all. I was in the middle of taking care of business on the turlet, and he was like, no, stop. I bent over the sink to wash my hands. He tried to climb in the small of my back. I can't cook. I can't do nothing. And so I had Hendrix, Axel, and Zorro, and then Aria's climbing up. And finally, I was like, I'll just record audio. So I apologize, guys. It is not that I'm embarrassed about anything I'm looking like. I just needed to get videos recorded. That was the only time I had them. And I really didn't feel like fighting off 5 fucking cats to do it. And the dogs. So I did it. But anyways,
that's enough of that.
Where was I going at? I was going
you were talking about your mess up.
So I'm trying to get another job writing scripts for another YouTuber. And they're a much larger YouTuber than me. We are friends. And I don't write my own scripts. I don't know if anyone, I think I've said this to you before. I've never written a single script, guys. I find it stressful, and I always forget something when I do that. So you know what? I just watch the videos right before I record. I get myself more pissed off or more amped up, then I record it, and I'm like, "Hey, that was good. I said that off the cuff. That's fantastic." And then I'm done. That's it. I've made almost 100 videos now, and I've never done that. So I had to take it very seriously. Well, while in the middle of writing a script, I'm having to therapy someone. I'm having to balance issues going on at the restaurant. I'm trying to balance schedules of everybody because we're running between 2 different locations to try to get them set up because spring is coming and we have to get these all done up for the spring season because we're trying to get customers to come in. We have a wedding. We had a baby shower coming up, and we had 2 separate events coming up. We had 2 separate St. Patrick's Day events coming up, and I was taking on a brunt of the work that other workers weren't. Besides my boss, credit where credit is due. She is doing a shit ton of Rudy. Why are you tapping her face like that?
He wants my attention.
He's getting it though. And one of the events got canceled the night before.
Oh, that's just rude.
And we were the only one that was bumped. Yeah, we were pissed because I had stayed late. Like, we're talking till 11 o'clock or midnight every night prepping the food for it by myself. My carpal tunnel on both hands has been acting up because I made like over 120 shepherd's pie pasties.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're delicious, but still. So that was the first thing. So then Saturday we went and did the baby shower. Went along great. I had a couple of hiccups with that. So we're sitting there shitting bricks about, did it go wrong? Well, then the customer came back and they were like, we loved it so much. You're going to do my birthday party. And we were like, fuck yes. And we didn't fuck up. And she don't need to know what we did fuck up. So it's all good. So on, so forth. And some food went to waste. No, because we have had a shepherd's pie pasty special all weekend. And we can freeze it. And we can reuse it for another special at some point. Like,
easy enough to reheat.
Yeah, it's not thematically on point with the restaurant at all. But if we want to do something or some kind of event, we have that. I was supposed to plan a high tea. That never happened. I'm supposed to plan a ladies' tea. That never happened. So now I have to plan them for April probably instead of March. Tomorrow, we have a wedding at the restaurant. I have to be at the restaurant at 10 a.m. to make the charcuterie boards and to make the advertising sign for the wedding. But I also am attending the wedding as a guest because the person having the wedding is a friend of my husband's. So I have to do the charcuterie board, and then I have to go back home so he and I can get ready so that way we can be there in time to get to the graveyard. Yes, I said graveyard for the wedding. So I'm probably not going to stream until late tomorrow night, guys. There will be a stream, but so that's why tonight I'm not staying on super late because Starman went to the market to get milk so he and I can have popcorn and hot cocoa and have a little date night tonight. And we're going to watch the anime that my husband has on his own decided that we should start watching anime together again because he always watches like those really retarded ones where it's like, I was reborn as a dungeon master and now I wander it as a vending machine or some shit like that. He likes watching all that and I'm like, I'm not watching those. So he goes and he finds all these yeah, I can't. But what's funny is, so he keeps finding these animes that are romance, and I already read all of these like a decade ago when they were just manga. And every time he turns one, I'm like, I know this one. Oh yeah, I know this one, babe, and we just die laughing. And it's a very hectic week. I see everyone saying, "Oh, that sounds like a lot." Yes, it is. And I'm gonna start babysitting again soon.
Yeah, you said that.
And I think if I'm correct, someone else asked me to start doing something else and I might tell them no. Money or no money, I have to have some kind of time to myself. But yeah. And so, like I was saying, with the isekai are so weird. Exact. Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of the word. Whatchamacalls it. And so that's why with the flea problem coming up, it's been driving me crazy because the dogs have been scratching like crazy. But let's lead into a pet problem horror
Oh boy.
because I had a swell one this week.
Oh goody.
On top, on top of everything I just told you guys, Orion caused a big, messy, stinky problem not once but twice this week.
Oh.
Who remembers me talking about the wheat litter that my husband got last week?
Oh no, he didn't.
Oh, he did. Not once but twice but thrice. Okay, so my husband told me, wow, he really likes this litter. And I was like, that's not good. And my husband, God bless him, I know you're probably listening, babe, doesn't always pay attention. He gets absorbed in what he's doing. And see, Orion's been fantastic, knock on wood. He's been fantastic for the past several years. Haven't had almost any poo-poo eating problems since we moved to this house. This litter is made of wheat runoff and husks. Now, to this litter's defense, it really works well. I hate it so much. It works so well. It doesn't stink. It's not one of those bad clumping litters. It doesn't leave a lot of residue. It doesn't leave any. And apparently, Orion thinks it's because he goes in and he doesn't just sneak in a little bit. Nay, he digs. He goes mining, and I don't know what he digs for, but he shit the crate. One of the mornings I had to be gone all day. Matt got home, had to
Oh,
take care of it.
that poor baby.
The next day, he went in again and ate again. And I woke up to poop explosion. If you guys watch any of my YouTube shorts, you'll see posted about it. If you're on my TikTok, you saw it. And I'm gonna take you through it. Horror, you want to laugh? I got you ready for emotions. You're gonna get emotions out of her. So here's what went down. See, because and that's what happened this morning because they gave me a heart attack this morning because I got up 8 a.m. I woke up from a nightmare and I hear and I went no because it was my first morning off where I could just relax and I'm like I jump out of bed. It just so happened Sinbad was sitting right in front of the TV because I have to crate the kittens every morning before I let the dogs out because Orion's gonna chase the kittens. Okay, let's start with that. So I like grab the kitten, butt ass naked, running to the house. I throw the kittens in the crate, get them their food. Okay, great. Run to the bathroom because I was about to piss myself. Pee, great. Run out into the kitchen. Run into the living room. They hadn't pooped yet. Oh, thank God. But this is why I didn't want it to happen today. I wake up, and normally, when someone has defecated, Greta alerts me. Orion, not so much. He'll sit there. He'll do nothing. Oh, see, that's the problem, Captain Fluffy Paws. This litter is so good it makes the poop not smell. Guess how I know? Because Orion didn't just make a little accident in the crate. We found one buried under our dirty laundry. It was great. I was so thrilled. I'm like, when did he have the time to do this, Matthew? We had a little pile of dirty laundry in front of the cat tree in our bedroom. And I was like, when did he have the time to do this? He's like, I don't know when it happened. I was like, okay. So I wake up, get everything done, did my morning constitutionals, I get all the kittens put away, and I walk out into the living room. And I lifted the blanket, and it was like a scene from a Walmart bathroom. It was just carnage. There was doo-doo and wheat litter everywhere. And it was like 30 degrees outside. Well, guess what? The dogs realized that day they don't want to be stuck outside. So I shoved them outside. And then I got to work. So I rip out all the bedding. Mind you, I had to get to the restaurant. Okay? I rip out all the bedding. And I was like, You bought this litter, you're putting it in the washer. I threw it in the tub. I was like, done. That part I'm not dealing with, because what else I had to do? I then had to take apart the entire dog crate. I had to then drag it the 40 feet from the end of my living room to the carport to then hose it, which smeared the stuff across my
No.
house. I get it into the carport, and Starson forgot that her spigot is broken. And so when Starson turned on the spigot, in 30-degree weather, she got sprayed in the face, chest, and hair with 30-degree water. No, you can laugh, because I promise you, everyone else on my Facebook did.
I just feel bad for you because I've been there and done that.
Then I cleaned it out as best I could. I tipped it that way, and the other. Mind you, guys, this was after working 3 doubles in 1 week, so I was already hobbling like a bitch and staying up till 1 a.m. the night before doing stuff. I get back inside. As I previously said, it had smeared. So I then had to go across the floor, mop what I could. Then I had to sweep up what I could not mop, for it would make more problems. While I'm in the middle of rearranging the whole household, because I promise you it was a whole thing, I hear the dogs start going ballistic. There's some asshole at my front door. Who the fuck is that? I live in a dead end road in the middle of bumfuck North Carolina. Who the fuck is at my door? Someone my neighbor sent me to help cut down the evil bushes and brambles that I needed cut. Yay, thank you. While I'm covered in dog shit. And my shirt is half soaking wet. And I look like a mad woman. And I've got this 110-pound pit bull barking his head off in his fence. I was looking at people and I was like, they're going to think I'm a psychopath. I then had to drag the crate. After they left, we talked, business cards, yay. I then had to drag the crate back through the house. Then I had to make sure anything that was left in the bottom of the crate. So the whole thing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I won't laugh. You're such a liar. You're laughing right now. I know you, Moon. And so that was something I didn't want to repeat while I was all by my lonesome today. That was something I didn't want to happen again, especially because you'd think he learned his lesson. But 2 nights ago, Orion didn't just dig through 1 litter box. He didn't just dig through 2 litter boxes.
Oh, no.
He dug through 3. And he came out smacking his lips like he just came from the chocolate factory. And I blew an absolute gasket. He hasn't stepped paw in this room if I wasn't in it since. I screamed bloody murder. Because I was like, have you not learned your lesson? Have we not? Because he don't like it. I'm gonna tell you right now. He don't like the diarrhea that comes with it. He don't like the eggy burps that come with it. No, he don't. He does not like sitting outside in the cold, because he informed me. If you have a dog, you know that they have different kinds of barks. Orion's demanding bark was coming out. And he was not just going bark, he was going, "Roar!" Like, bitch, let me in. And I was like, bitch, not till you shit.
Out there where it belongs.
And then today, I washed the dogs. I smeared the entire side of the tub in peanut butter. That did pretty good. But then I got a message from the YouTuber that I wrote the script for. I messed up.
No.
Or at least I thought I messed up big. So another panic attack ensued. And then they messaged me afterwards. They were like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. Meanwhile, Starman was like, it's okay. It's because I was having a meltdown again. So yeah, it's because of Shark Week. So guys, every once in a while, your girl has a meltdown. And this week happened to be, I remember everyone was like, oh my God, we broke her. I'm like, you technically did not. You were part of the buildup. I did the breakage. I did that last bit. So, how are you doing, my darling?
Oh, I've got a puppy who's teething.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fun. You keep having to take things away from them. You think really, most of the time a dog wouldn't bother with them. But because he needs to chew on something, instead of all the toys, all the flavored chew things, everything that this dog can chew on without getting in trouble. He can have it. I'll play with it with him.
It's not worth it.
Everything. He wants to chew on a battery. Oh, Mo Zamboni has just donated $5 for some MD 2020 Banana Red. So
Aw.
Star can erase all the sadness from her memories. And Mad Dog will definitely do that.
Thank you, honey. Oh my god. I've got one better for you than a battery.
Oh god.
And he used to chew on push text.
Oh, the same puppy and his brother opened an entire package of sewing needles. And I'm still finding sewing needles. I am still to this day worried that I'm going to discover that one is in their system somewhere.
In a perforated. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I didn't have quite that. Greta swallowed a shaving razor once.
Oh.
Like she never. Okay, and when I say once, I mean like she'd never done this before. Ever. It was my best friend that passed away. He used only disposable razors.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was used to kind of not having a place to settle where everyone would give him his own space until he lived with me. So he got very accustomed to using the disposable shit. He threw it in the trash. Greta was desperate for attention. And Greta discovered, even though now I don't mean like we neglected her. It was like if we didn't give Greta 24/7 attention, Greta had a little meltdown and she would do things. She went in and we found everything but the blades.
Ooh.
Girl, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming that by now that nobody's come up with, no one's coughed blood or shit blood or anything. And that was months ago. So I'm thinking we're safe now.
Yeah, I will say this. Apparently, if the metal is thin enough, their stomach acid will break it down.
Yeah.
It's still the horror. By the way, hi, Priz. Guys, animals are no joke. Like, that's why I love people like animals are easy. No, you see the problem with animals can be easy. But if you're like us and you are an animal person, nature and God naturally send you the hard ones.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then not to mention you have this ability to imagine, of bad situations. So something simple happens and you're sitting there and you're thinking, "Oh my god, when is this going to happen? Because any minute now I'm going to discover that this tiny thing that really means nothing is going to have shit pouring out their ass with blood and yeah.
100%. Like how he busted his hip.
Yep.
Zorro, healthy for 12 and a half years. No problems. Jumps off my fucking shoulder, taps the side of the desk. Suddenly, he's got an injured hip. Suddenly, his health falls. Teeth are popping out. Like that with animals. It's so true. You're 100%. And see, this week, people wanted to raise hers and my blood pressure. Ryan Reaper tagged you on Twitter. That vegan, that dog you showed, where that was so fucking funny. We got tapped, so I'm not gonna play it again. But guys, there was a video she sent me that then she got tagged in this week. This husky, a woman was like, "My dog actively chooses to be vegan. You put down a bowl of vegetables or a bowl of meat, she's gonna choose the vegetables." The dog didn't even take a second thought. Meat. And she's like, "Well, this is embarrassing." No fucking shit.
I love it when they do that. And it's like, really, you think that dog don't want that meat?
It's hilarious. It's the problem is that a lot of people, again, going back to the vegan teacher, people place their own morality on their pets, and I don't understand why. I don't. It's like when a cat gets a hold of a mouse and you're like, that cat doesn't actually want to eat the mouse. It is exceedingly rare that you find mice and cats that get along. I found it once in a while. There was this funny video. I think my dad showed it to me. The cat and the mouse were fighting with each other, but they weren't. They were playing. And the mouse goes and sleeps in the cat's fur. And this is a wild mouse. And I'm just like, bruh. Bro. The
I
running joke
mean,
with equestrians is a yearling can be in a padded room
padded
and
room.
find a way to get injured.
Yeah, no, they're young horses are just ridiculous.
Stupid. Babe, make sure you throw out the old milk. Thank
Oh my
you.
god, your milk actually went bad.
My milk goes bad so fast in my fridge. We need to get a new fridge.
Oh,
So, huh? Really? How big is he now? So we have a baby possum, or was a baby possum. The first time I saw him was like 6 months ago. I walked outside because what I do is I throw out any excrement from my food to the animals out there, so that way I can keep certain flora and fauna on my land.
hmm
He didn't get that much bigger because the last time I saw him, he was about that big. Still, that's bigger. He was a baby, guys. He was like from nose to butt. He was about that big. He was like penny sized. And apparently Starman said from tail to nose, he's like about the width. So at least 2 feet.
he's getting there.
And he's getting there. We're pretty sure his mother died. Same as the raccoon. The raccoon baby, the first time we saw it, we haven't been able to afford our security bill either. And so we used to have a security camera. We could see the backyard all the time. And about a year ago, not too long after Orion showed the raccoon to not step up to him, we saw the baby. And the baby was limping on the back leg. Like it was holding it completely in the air. And, we put 2 and 2 together. More than likely the baby either fell and got hurt, and the mother must have assumed Orion did it. Because, I mean, if Orion had gotten hold of its leg, it would not have just been limping with it. It would have been mangled.
Yeah.
So because the thing was small. So we were afraid. We didn't see it for a while, but now we see it all the time. And when it stands up, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. Whenever you come home and out of the darkness, a raccoon stands up, it always catches you off guard.
hmm
Oh, shit, who is that? Oh, it's just a fucking trash panda. God. But what else has been going on with you, my dear?
Just the teething, the puppy wanting to play with everybody. You can hear him barking in the background as he tries to convince one of the other dogs to play with him, which is obviously not going well. And other than that, I just feel like I was hit by a bus. So
I know how that feels.
my fibro is kicking me this week. So
It's my arthritis for me. We're so old. It's just
I wish mine was age.
It's just for me with the arthritis, it's a matter of I push myself a lot. And I actually was saying it in a recording today, so you'll hear it eventually, guys. I push myself a lot at work, and a lot of people get very nervous because I'm a big woman. And I try to make sure that I don't hinder the place. I want to make sure that if I'm going to work with everybody, that I'm going to be an asset, not
Liability.
yeah. And, excuse me. That was a lemon coming back up. Ugh. Poor decision on my part to have lemon today. But it's just, I push myself so I make sure everything gets done. But when I get no time to recover like I have for the past 2 weeks, I don't know if anyone else has arthritis. You can physically feel the 2 bones kind of wobble.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like tonight with me washing the dogs. I shouldn't have done it the way I did it. I should have sat on the side of the tub like I was supposed to. Instead, I leaned down because it's much quicker and easier. And your girl felt it. I could feel the grinding. I felt me buckling. I felt my knee almost pop out from behind me. And so, yeah. On the plus side, the dogs are washed. I got Blue Dawn along with then I used the eucalyptus soap, and then I used Never leave eucalyptus in your tub when you have cats that go in your tub, guys. Thankfully, they
That could be
haven't.
bad.
Yeah. Eucalyptus is poisonous. I know. What you excited about? You're not taking a shower, damn it.
He heard the eucalyptus. Now he wants to
Right? He's
go
like,
lick it.
ooh. Honey,
Wait, someone can kill me?
you want to speed up the process? Trust me, I can do that easier. And that was something that sucked. So at the baby shower that we catered, they gave us succulents for a party favor. Succulents are poisonous.
I think the smell of lemon kept them out of it anyway.
I know, but I still make sure it's completely cleaned out, okay? I mean completely, baby.
Better safe than sorry.
Fire hose one.
Say it again. Har.
Oh, I said better safe than sorry.
Right. But yeah, it's just been a very long, hectic week. Starman's got 3 days off in a row, which I'm pretty happy about. Although most of tomorrow's gonna be dedicated to the wedding. But then the next 2 days after that, right, babe?
Yep.
Then we'll have some fun after that. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure we came on at least today because I know both of us are really exhausted. Because I knew that Horror was also having a rough day because she hadn't said a damn word to me all day about the stream. And usually I get a message at some point in the afternoon, we're still on for today, right? She hadn't said anything. I'm like, damn, bitch is as tired as me.
Oh no, I don't know how familiar you are with fibromyalgia.
I am. My mother had it.
Yeah, so I've been down in my chair all day. I took a muscle relaxer because sometimes that can take the edge off and speed me a little towards being more normal. And I've basically been asleep. I got up, I went downstairs, I cooked breakfast. My mom was actually off today because she had some a doctor's appointment she had to go to, and she had a CT scan and it screws with her back, which is her major problem. So she came home instead of going to work. So I made everybody scrambled eggs, and then I fell asleep again for about 3 hours.
Because the thing
Woke
about
up in time.
fibro, guys, it from my mother, anytime it got even below 50 degrees, any 60 degrees, she was in excruciating pain. The weather alone, and it was like I couldn't even go like that to her. Just doing this, she was, oh, Cassandra, don't. Like, I couldn't hug her sometimes. I couldn't put any pressure on her. And she would just sit there and sometimes cry from the pain. And on top of that, she'd get a very foggy head. She would sometimes forget stuff. She would mumble over her words. She couldn't stay awake to save her life. She would just lay there, just in pain. Now, I don't know how your fibro came along. From my mom, they said fibro tends to happen as an immune response to a giant shock to your body.
It can be either way. It's either that or it's hereditary. In my case, it was hereditary. They just didn't, because of the nature of the issue, it often goes undiagnosed. I happened to get lucky, and my first major flare wasn't until I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
And I actually got a doctor who noticed I was not acting right and sent me immediately to a rheumatologist.
You see, my mom was around for her. So what triggered my mom's fibromyalgia, I can tell you the exact moment. I was 11 years old. It was Thanksgiving, and Celine Dion was singing on the TV, and my mother got the phone call that my grandfather died. And which is why we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving for a long time in the Star family. And Because You Loved Me was playing, and we, for the longest time, could not listen to that song. I still cry when I hear it. Beautiful song, but damn it, that's what was playing when Grandpa passed away. And so I remember hearing my mom scream. It was a whole thing. And that is the moment that her immune response happened. And they would tell her she was crazy. They'd be like, Marion, there's nothing wrong with you. You are fine. There's no problems. And it took a long time for my mom to get diagnosed. A lot of doctors just thought she was nuts. Now, thankfully, Rhode Island and Massachusetts tend to have... This is going to sound maybe a little elitist, but I find the best doctors in the country tend to be in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. That's where I have found I have talked to other people that go to doctors in other areas of the country, and I live in supposedly one of the best places in the East Coast. And I can tell you right now, my mom would still be alive if she lived up in Rhode Island when she got cancer. But that's besides the point. And so that's where I understand exactly what you're saying, because fibromyalgia is a relatively new thing in terms of understanding. My mom got officially diagnosed probably in, you're what, about 10 years older than me, give or take? No? Yes? No. No, you're, because I'm 36, you're 41.
4. Yeah, 5. 5
Yeah, we're 5
years.
So it's not that big of a difference. So my mom would have gotten probably diagnosed around your early 20s. So then it would have taken you about 10 more years for it. Yeah, that's what I was saying, the 10-year gap. But it's a rough one, guys. If you have fibro, some fibro is seasonal, some fibro is emotion based. It always comes from your response to your body, just the same way a panic attack does.
It's so I mean, in many ways, I do believe that down the road we're going to find out it's not a disease, but a conglomerate, a bunch of, yes. I'm having them.
That's why it's not going to be a long stream tonight. I figure we just get on, talk for a little bit, get our human interaction.
No, but sometimes, like you said, with the brain fog, a lot of times I get more worried about myself because I will have periods where I just can't talk right. No words will come out in the correct way, no matter how hard I try.
And I've been there when my mother would have that. And my mother was an extremely articulate person, very well spoken. Couldn't spell to save her life, but she was.
I can't either.
Right. She had fantastic handwriting. She didn't know how to use it.
I don't have
that. And see, for me, I don't have that, but I do have a stutter. And I've said, I don't know if I said it to you, but I said it on the stream before. Have you ever seen me go, and I might quickly say something odd, or I might say something that's a little more lengthy in words? It's because those syllables are easier to get out than whatever word I was trying to say. Because I hate going, like, and I have I've done that. My father had a stutter, and for the longest time, I didn't know why I would have that, because I hated stuttering. I hated skipping over my words. So instead, mine came out as, and I just freeze. And so then I found out, that can be hereditary. My mother had anxiety. I have anxiety. And I'm pretty sure my dad's got ADHD, and both Philip and I have ADHD. So the whole thing is, we're just, mentally handicapped family. And so sounds like my mom when she was alive, except fibro, it was something called TRPS syndrome, a rare bone disorder. Oh, bone disorders are scary.
Hi, Moon. Yeah, when you look at it, and because of the fibro, I've ended up looking at a whole bunch of different things, because once they say you have fibro, you end up being diagnosed with all these other side issues that go with it.
It's true though.
So, you look at that kind of stuff and it gets scary after a while. The scariest thing is the possibility of actually having lupus, but being misdiagnosed because they're both so similar, but lupus actually attacks your organs.
Right.
So that one scares me.
I have a friend who has lupus, and
actually my best friend just got diagnosed with lupus. She for years had they called it rosacea. So she had the butterfly rash, but they thought it was rosacea.
Oh.
So yeah. So she's recently been diagnosed with lupus. And so, I mean, it's really scary out there, guys, when you're talking about, it seems so easy when I take my pet to the vet because he almost always knows about what's wrong.
Right? That's the worst.
They have no fucking clue.
That was why what happened to Penny and Bastion and Atreyu is so scary to me. When a vet looks at you and goes, "We don't know what happened," and they still don't know, and it's killed too. And I know of other 2 animals it has killed, and so stuff like that, where that's, like she said, it's kind of very relieving when you go to the vet, because 9 times out of 10 They know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They have a solution for it. They have some kind of solution. Like kidney failure, you can sometimes, and this is not vet backed, but I have done it firsthand and it did work. When your cat is having kidney failure, feed them raw chicken kidneys and livers. That helped my cat. Axel's still alive because I did that. I remember right around the time my mom died. So Axel, like I told you guys, back in 2017, 2018, racked up $4,000 in vet bills, thanks to the people that were living in my house. And he was extremely stressed. He got himself a mucus plug in his ding, and his bladder swelled to the size of an orange.
Oof.
Axel nearly died, and we had to multiple times take him to get a catheter put in, much to his chagrin, because he would then pull it out. Under vet, like when I tell you Axel's the most stubborn creature on the planet, I swear to God. Well, when I got him home, he seemed to be fine. And then he was laying in a corner and he was like bundled up and his fur was all puffed and he was not happy. And there was a little white hard thing on the tip of his peen. And I was like, I thought it was jizz. I didn't know what it was. And so and it was turning red around it. So I was like, I just tried to tug it off a little bit. I know it's gross, but when you're a pet owner and you're trying to
You do gross things. Yeah.
you do gross things. Well, he screamed bloody murder, so I let it go. I didn't touch it. Okay. About 4 hours later, I went back into the bedroom. And Axel's sitting there cleaning himself, peeing out semi-bloody pee.
Mm.
And there's a worm about that long on the bed. So I picked up the worm. It was all white. I put it in a bag to bring to the vet. And there was sparkly stuff all where Axel had peed. And I'm like, what kind of magic is this? Oh,
Aaron,
you came in at the weird conversation.
we're talking about cat penis.
Yes. Well, it turns out that was not a worm. It was a mucus plug.
Ooh.
That I'm telling you this so that way you know this, guys. Your male cat, when they get stressed and they over pee, can create a mucus plug in their entire bladder. The length of that was the length of his whole system. He had yanked it out by his teeth. And the sparkly stuff I saw was crystals. Now, why crystals are bad is that can kill your cat.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can internally slice him up, and it happens more in males than in females. But this is where you're all going to laugh. I had the opportunity to turn Axel into a tranny.
I did that.
That's the only way to solve crystals in a male cat.
Mm-hmm.
I found out with Axel, it only happens when he's highly stressed. So from 2018 to the summer of 2019, you were okay. But then I had to move all the cats to my parents' house for a few months because, again, I had to switch houses. And then we moved into this house. And I was exceedingly stressed because I was never home. And I was running around. And Axel very much, they did not. He still owns his peen.
No, they cut off the pee-pee on my cat.
Oh, they did it on your cat. Yeah, no, not Axel.
I'll go into that story when you're done.
Yes, please. I would like to hear how it went with yours because I had the opportunity, but I did not end up going through with it because this is expensive. Okay, that is like a $2,000 operation, and I did not have that money.
Really? Didn't cost that much for mine.
Oh yeah, and so I went to the doctor, and the doctor treated me like shit. He was a total dick to me. He's like, "Your cat's dying." I said, "No," and really, he's like, and I don't know why you brought it to me like this. You could have brought it to me sooner. And I'm like, sir, my mother is dying. I said, I just moved houses. I was and I'm going over everything with him. And he's like, well, you shouldn't have the pets if you don't have the money. I'm like, sir, when I had all these pets, I was making $30,000 a year. My husband was making $50,000, and I'm going over all this stuff with them. And he's like, well, I'll take him. Well, I guess we'll see what we can do, but I'm pretty sure you should just euthanize him. And I was like, I'm not going to give up on him. I said, I'll mop the floors if you need me to. I was like, but just do what you can do. So he takes him and he does some tests. And a couple of hours later, he calls me and says, we really need to put him down. And he said, his kidneys are failing. He is going to die. I said, I'm not putting my cat down. Something told me not to give up. Because Axel was still able to lift his head and meow. So I took him home. I set up a dog crate in the middle of the kitchen. And I started feeding Axel raw chicken livers. I started feeding him raw egg. I started feeding him ground up raw beef. I started feeding him all these different concoctions that I knew worked, along with Pedialyte and cat's milk, which is this little supplement you can give to your cats, and Nutrical. I gave him this whole little slew of food, and within a week, Axel was better. And I called the doctor and I told him, I said, Axel's alive. He's made a full recovery. And as you guys know, Axel's clearly still alive now. So, and he is good. He is 10 this year. I just found that out the other day. I have many of my cats turning 10 this year. It took me a second to realize it, but Aria, Daisy, Hendrix, and Axel all turn 10 this year. Nova turns 10 next year. Penny turns 10 the year afterwards. And then Greta turns 10 the year after that. And I'm like, what, Zorro?
Where'd the time go?
I know. Come on. Hop. Gonna make
Heron. Heron, let me tell you the stories.
Yeah, I want to know. You talk. You tell me. I want to know.
So when I was like 13 or 14, my parents made the mistake of taking me to the mall with the pet store.
Oh.
And in that store was the most adorable little black kitten. He was just this tiny little fluff ball of black. And I like black pets. So I ended up with him. We bring him home. I named him Spooky. His name was Spookey was his name. And because God knows I can't spell. Even back then I couldn't spell. And we had him fixed. And, we responsible pet people were feeding him, what we thought was a great pet food. We were feeding him Iams.
Notice how that happens, guys.
And,
higher concentration of soy, wheat, and other glutens in the cat's diet can create more crystals, just letting you know.
And Ash is where we actually ran into the issue. He started developing bladder infections. He'd be fine, and then one day you'd find him. Okay, well, hold on. Let me backtrack a bit and describe this cat for you. He's gone. He's been gone for years now. He lived till he was 18. But
with an E.
He was a very smart cat. He was a very large cat. He was 36 pounds, and we're not talking fat. He was just big.
So he was like a forest cat or a Maine Coon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. We're always pretty sure he was a Maine Coon, but we didn't have any way to track it. Because this was before you could DNA test your pets, people.
Back in the day.
So he's big. He was fat. He wasn't fat. He was just a big fucking cat. And when I say he was smart, we moved into this house. They had one of those latches. He figured out real fast he could reach up, pull it, and go outside.
Oh, God.
And he was an indoor cat. So we did not let him outside. The only reason Vincent gets out is because he figured out how to game the system. And we got tired of him. Hey, Ark, how you doing?
Ark, how you doing, Ark?
This is the same cat, however, if I was to forget to let him or to feed him in the morning, when my dad would get out of bed, he would run up the back of his legs, bite him on the ass, and take off. This is the same cat. I was sitting in the middle of the floor in the living room, and we're talking to my mom, and I throw my head back and laugh.
Until
and he runs up my back and scrapes across my gums. And when I'm telling you that hurt, oh my God, did that hurt. Oh, that was one of the more painful things in my life. I still remember that. He would often just run up on people and bite them. He was that kind of cat. He was an asshole, but I loved him. He was vicious. But so he'd be fine and he'd be doing his thing. And then one day you'd find him around the house going, and then he'd pee a little, and it'd have a little blood in it.
Okay, so he started doing this all around the same time, in other words.
Same time
Look,
what?
The gum thing, the running
Oh
up.
no, that was all his life.
Oh, okay. He was
Yeah, no.
just sick his whole life. Okay.
No, he was an ass his whole life. That wasn't the things did not correspond. Unfortunately. I wish I could say he was an asshole because he was in pain. No, he was just an asshole. Same cat that if he was mad at the dogs, he would go pee in the dog food dish.
Oh my god. He took possession of their food. What a
Yeah, no. If he was mad at the dogs, he would go pee in their dish. And then if you wanted something and you weren't paying attention to him, he would walk up and he would push things off.
I can't with this kid.
So he's just that kind of asshole cat. Nightshade.
Bye, Shade. And Nightshade, get it?
Yes, I thought about that right after I said it.
Oh,
So,
God.
he starts developing this problem and it's like, fuck. So you take him to the vet treats it, and it takes a little bit. And then we realize, we're talking to the vet about the fact that we keep having to bring him in for these bladder infections. He's like, well, what are you feeding him? And we tell him, he's like, oh no, that's not going to work. So we had to switch the cat food. We got him on, I don't remember what we were feeding him back then because I was a kid. I didn't buy the cat food. And the problem kind of cut back, but he had this other problem, which was great. Where he would scratch his ears so hard, he would end up getting ear infections.
Oh my god.
I'm not kidding. So he's the only cat we declawed him all the way around.
You had to because he
had to. It was for his health because we had to do it. Well, trust me, guys, when I say we had to do it, because if you try to put eardrops in that cat, it took 3 people. It took one person to hold him in the towel wrapped up like a burrito. It took another person to hold that person to make sure he couldn't get out. And it took the other person to get it in his ears. And you still end up scratched.
What helped was Revolution. So that's why I like Revolution, because this douchebag and a little other black douchebag, when I put the drops in their ears, this one who can't move at all. Oh, he can't even jump up on his own. Oh, his hip hurts too much. Suddenly he's fucking Neo. And there's limbs flying, and he is actually bitten Starman.
Oh no.
When he doesn't like suddenly Zoro's got all the strength in the world. And Ark, let me tell you something. We should have called you in yesterday. I was a fool, and I worked yesterday. And I should have called you, sir. I was a fool. I'm telling you that now. But we thought of me. Ark and I work together now. We work in the same place. And let me tell you something. I made a boom boom on the rug. But what are you going to do? Worked out in the end. But I just thought he should know that. He should know that I should have had him come and rescue me. Or at least come in the first place. But I was like, I'll just go in instead. But whatchamacallit.
So now why would the Revolution help?
So Revolution is a 1-drop stop. So why I like it is because it takes care of internal parasites. It takes care of fleas, larvae. It takes care of ticks. But it also takes care of the ear mites. And a lot of times ear mites, it was just, yeah, I'll DM you, Ark. It was whatchamacallit. Ear mites cause a lot of yeast infections and ear infections. 9 to the 10, if a cat has an ear infection, ear mites are to blame.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the Revolution will help with that. And so that's why I love it. I don't like Revolution in dogs. I prefer Bravecto. Doesn't take care of the ear problem, but a lot of times dogs are much easier to put the eardrops in than cats because their ears are just so much bigger and they're less what's the word I'm looking for?
Vicious. Yeah, God.
I wouldn't say less vicious. I'd say less dexterous. You can hold down a dog easier because they just aren't flexible enough.
Yeah, you're not going to catch your dog wrapping itself twice around both ways.
Right. And so that's where the difference lies. But yeah, like tonight when I washed the dogs, they've scratched themselves so much they actually took off all the excess fur for me. So I didn't have to really scratch them. That was great. And then I washed them down. I will say this, guys, don't make Dawn part of your regular washing unless you absolutely have to. You should only use Dawn on your pets in like an emergency where you've got to kill a bunch of fleas at once. Capstar is better, but you're not a vet, so getting Capstar is kind of hard. Capstar will kill all fleas within 24 hours that are on your pet. Not in your house, but on your pet. I will say this though, if you have flea infestation, you can do what we did. Spray the house down with lemons and then sprinkle all of your soft surfaces, rugs, anything with table salt and diatomaceous red earth, because it actually cuts open the carapace and the exoskeleton of fleas while they're walking through, and it makes them bleed to death. And sometimes it melts into their carapace and it makes it stick to them so they die. So that's
Nice.
really cool. Rosemary oil does work, but I will say the lemon, making lemon water is the best. And how you make lemon water is you literally cut up lemons and you boil the shit out of them. And then you strain out that water and you spray it everywhere. And that kills a lot of the larvae and the eggs. And diatomaceous red earth can be rubbed onto your pets. So that's actually the next step that I'm going to do. Since I can't get the flea meds right now, I washed the dogs because they're the two largest animals and the easiest to wash. So I washed the two dogs with Dawn, and then I washed them with their pH balanced eucalyptus soap, and then I sprayed them down with their pH stay-in shampoo and conditioner that smells like almonds. It's real nice.
Fancy.
And to that, right, I bought these things 4 years ago and they still work fantastic. And why I do that is so that way the dogs, their fur and skin won't be too bad. I mean, they probably get some dandruff because I washed them with 3 different soaps. But in my defense, Orion shit himself 3 times this week. Come on, guys.
He deserved it.
He needed it. But I coated the side of the tub in peanut butter, and he loved it. Greta. She gave me a lick for solidarity. She was like, and then she kept looking for an escape route. So Orion very kindly came in and finished her peanut butter.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Like, well, what a sweet boy. So that's why he didn't poop the crate the 3rd time, because I would say an hour after, because I didn't want him to associate going into the litter box with getting a whole Kong of peanut butter.
Yeah.
I waited long enough till I was not mad at him anymore, so he didn't because Orion's very smart and he will keep a long
Associate. Yeah.
So I made sure the association was long enough apart, and then I said to Matt, I do not need him shitting. Peanut butter binds up the dogs. Go get me the natural peanut butter, and I'm gonna just like stuff that Kong full of peanut butter. And so I did. And it left him for a long while, and I was very happy.
Nice.
And so he did not doo-doo, I think, because of the peanut butter. And so that's why I was so shocked this morning, 2 days afterwards, is when I'm hearing the whimpering. But so now
it's got to come out eventually.
Right. And so going back to what you were saying about the cats and declawing and stuff, I don't believe in declawing. However, there's an exception. There is no black and white. There is an exception to every rule.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, if your cat is damaging themselves with their claws and there is no other solution, then guys, it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I just realized, I should talk about it tomorrow. I got a gift, but I'll wait. I got a gift from somebody, but I think I'll do it tomorrow night.
Anyway. So we declawed him to keep him from digging his ears out.
Right.
But, no matter what we put him on in terms of cat food, he still kept getting these bladder infections. And what was happening was, he was building up the crystals and he would get a magnesium deposit stuck in his pee-pee. And, we were talking to the vet. It's like, at this point, that cat had probably cost us $6,000 in those types of appointments and drugs and everything. We're like, we can't keep doing this.
Did this this is back when you were a teenager, so that today would easily be like a $10,000 bill, guys.
Yeah, and these were repeated trips. I mean, my parents would often say, "This is the most goddamn expensive cat we've ever had."
That's what I say about Axel. This is the most expensive free cat I've ever had.
He wasn't even free. They bought him at a pet store.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So we can't even call him free cat. He was just expensive all the way around.
Oh, no.
And so we're talking to the vet, and it's like, so what can we do? Because I mean, at this point, we'd even tried their special diet and everything, and the vet's it's like, are we gonna have to put him down? And the vet's like, no, we can cut off his wee wee. And we're like, will that work? Well, it'll make the hole bigger, so any of the crystals will just come right out.
That's what they told me. They said literally they would just open it up till it was like looked like almost like a vagina. So that way it was easier to.
I mean, he didn't say that, but yeah. So they took it off, and we never had another problem.
No more magnesium.
No more issues with that. He lived 18 years. I remember the day he died. Still.
You always
Died
do
in the
that,
house.
guys. You always remember when your pets passed away. Heron was like, I've been waiting for that answer. See, Heron, there's trans cats too.
Well, I don't think you can technically call them trans because it's not like they installed a vagina. But
Excuse me, but all cats identify as bisexual, according to a study.
oh god, I'm not even gonna ask. I don't want to know.
I
But
know
yeah,
people love to humanize cats and dogs all the time, like as if they care.
but
But
no, they identify as, hey, I think I can hump that.
yo, okay. So I was watching Casual Geographic, and he was showing this video where 3 moose got so drunk off of fermented apples they had a threesome in someone's backyard. Are you ready for this? There was one moose standing, one moose humping, and the one that was standing was eating out the other moose. And I was like, damn, they've got a very interesting sex life for just 3 random moose. And I was like, when they go on benders, it was just that's what just made me think of it. I was like, oh god. Wow, I'm already getting this tired. You getting tired too, Sister Mary?
I've been tired since the moment I got up.
Well, we said we're only gonna do about an hour stream tonight. So it is 11:08 and we were only 2 minutes late. Do you want to do it to 11:10 and then in 1 more minute we'll do our outros. Go ahead, Sugar Bean. You go off on do your bad self.
I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what I'm doing this week. I don't remember shit.
Is there a midweek hump?
There's a midweek hump.
Ask the man behind you. He must have some info.
There's a midweek hump. There's a midweek hump. But there's also this calendar over here that he keeps telling me I need to use. I will be on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel at 6:15, 7:15, 6:15.
At some one of the 15s between
somewhere
5 and 8.
in the evening after 5 Mountain Time. 7:15. I'm being told it's 7:15. I'm not sure. But either way, that will be on Friday. I will be on the midweek hump. We are having Cannoli Sasquatch on the midweek hump. So it'll be a very Cannoli Sasquatch week.
Now you're saying you want a cannoli.
I've never had... Cannolis make me nervous because I'm allergic to almonds.
Nice.
She's Italian.
Nice. Okay, first of all, there does not have to be any almond in them.
I know.
You don't want them. That's first of all.
I
Second of all,
understand.
eat a cannoli, woman.
But where? Where?
They're called bakeries. They're these lovely places where they make pastries.
Montana.
I'm assuming there's at least one in Montana.
Maybe. Not in this city. And I'm not driving 3 hours for a cannoli.
You know what? I'm going to call Nikki, my girl Nikki, who also lives in Montana.
Okay.
She's an amazing cook. And I'm going to see how far she is from you. So you're going to send me your address. And I'm going to see how far she is. Okay? And I'm going to see if she knows where there's cannoli. And if not, I'll see, because when I tell you guys, Nikki sent me cookies as a Christmas gift. They didn't make it past the first 30 minutes that they were at my house. They were so fucking good. And I'll be like, Nikki, I will pay you. Send my girl a cannoli. Because Nikki can do it. And I'll tell her sans almonds.
Yeah, because that's the one thing. I'm not worried about, I'm just worried because I know in the classic recipe, there's almonds. So I just worry about people not putting it in when I'm not supposed to eat it. That's my only issue.
What high-end markets do you have near you? Like, do you have a Publix? Do you have a Costco? What do you have?
I have a
Who
Sam's
do
Club.
a Sam's Club.
That's it.
Sometimes Sam Clubs sell the shells. So you can just look up a ricotta recipe or ricotta. You can get a ricotta recipe for the filling
Well,
for
actually, I
your
plan to make my own ricotta this week. And honestly, if I knew the recipe for the shell, I could probably make the shell. I am actually not too bad at cook myself. I made
kind of like a pot au jus.
fusilli this weekend.
It's like if a pot au jus and a pie crust had a baby.
Hmm.
I will find you a non-almond recipe for a shell. The only problem is, in order to do them, you have to get a tube.
Mhm.
You have to get a tube.
I still have my tubes. What are you talking?
Ah! You have to get I can't do any hand motions. You have to get a tube. You
Tube.
can fry the shell in.
Well, you form it around it, don't you? Because I've actually
Yes.
seen them made. I've just never made them myself.
Yes. And usually it's either in the ricotta filling or it's in the actual shell.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Ark. That was like 3 different times I tried, and I failed. But you can also order the shells sometime from Amazon. Matter of fact, before we go, because I'm gonna have to solve this now. Because as soon as we get off, I'm gonna let her go. Because I sometimes keep her on afterwards to talk, and the poor thing is just sitting there, eyes crossed, trying not to fall asleep while I chat with her. And I don't want to do that today.
Which is funny because I'm in the earlier time zone.
Right. Let's see.
Though today, to be fair, I could fall asleep at the drop of a hat.
Okay, so for $16.60, you can order cannoli shell molds. They're called cream horn molds. You can also, for $19.99, order cannoli shells. Let's see what's in the ingredients. Let's see.
Yeah, a lot of them use almond flour, or some of them use almond extract in the filling. And I'm just because of my
enriched, unbleached.
Thought I was the one with brain issues here.
Unbleached, unbromated flour, wheat flour, niacin, reduced iron, vegetable shortening, white vinegar, eggs, sugar, and spice. Contains 0 almonds. I will send you this link. So that way you don't have to go through the process of making the shells, but you can also order the whatchamacallit if you like. I highly recommend going, if you're gonna make a ricotta, I need you to use your own to make a filling. I promise you, you will not regret it, sister. I'm going to copy this.
Cheese making is just something I've recently got into. It's fun.
It's actually really easy once you guys know what you're doing. It's one of the only reasons I want to get a cow.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I could find some raw milk, but that's a little harder.
See, now that's something I figure you being in Montana, you would be able to find easier.
I could find it. Like, I've looked it up, but I don't feel like driving to Helena. That's an hour and a half.
I mean, that's what the man's for. I wanted milk for Coco tonight. Did I go get milk? Nay.
Was the milk an hour and a half away?
I mean, if I needed it bad enough, it would be. Because, see, guess what? None of my family's watching this right now. They don't watch the Monday shows.
Oh.
My husband, on his own, was like, I want to surprise everyone. See, what we all have is Zapelas on St. Joseph's Day. Regrettably, St. Joseph's Day passed, but we found a bakery that's an hour away that sells Zapelas. And see, he can't get mad at me because it was his idea. So...
No, as is, I have to control my desire to drive 3 hours for Krispy Kreme. So,
see, now Krispy Kreme, I'm not a massive fan of them. Although I will say, for the first time ever, I had Krispy Kreme the other morning when we were driving to get to the lake house to prep. When I said we have 2 businesses, and I ate a Krispy Kreme donut, and it wasn't too bad. I didn't have the full negative effect I normally have, but by the middle of the day, I have this weird chalky feeling in my stomach.
Weird.
Krispy Kreme doesn't agree with my tum-tum, but when you're desperate, you're desperate. When you have nothing else to eat and you woke up at 5 a.m.
You'll eat anything.
Yeah, you'll eat it because they're like, here's some food. And you're like, if you insist. But all right, so midweek hump, cannoli, Sasquatch, all that jazz. As for
Oh.
me, guys, what?
One more thing. I will no longer be on Twitch. I'm going to end my affiliateship with them, and I will be exclusively on Rumble and YouTube if you look for me. Also
Very brave
locals,
thing to do.
and I did put out a chapter of my story. I don't remember if I told you guys last week that I put out my story chapter.
I think you did say something about it.
I know I said I would put out a story, but I don't know if I remember saying I put out my story chapter. So chapter 1's out. Chapter 2 will be coming in the next few days after I manage to feel better enough to edit it again. And yeah.
Well, make sure you go to her locals and read that, guys. And I will say that you're very brave to give up that much money. Because I know
It's not that much.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, that's a form of income.
It has been paying my internet bill.
Right. And so, very proud of you. I think Rumble will be good to you. Hey, if Steven Crowder can get it to work, anyone can get it to work. Right. Rancher. Listen, Rachel, you're still too far away from me to benefit from you being a rancher, young lady.
I need to make better friends with my ranchers.
I need to become friends with. I'm literally surrounded by farms, and I don't know a single fucking one of them. As for me, guys, it's been a hectic week. Your girl's finally starting to balance out. It's not much longer. It's still going to be a little hectic, but I should have a new video out this Thursday. Should have a new video out this week. I'm going to try to live stream tomorrow night around 10. We're going to see how long the wedding goes for, because again, I'm not only prepping for the wedding, I am attending the wedding. So, but otherwise, I think that's it for tonight, my dear. What you think?
I think we're good.
We're good. Sorry, it's not our. Once she and I are not either in excruciating pain or in a shit ton of drama, needing to solve it, we'll be fine. We'll be ready. Sarson, legit, just go to them and say you want to learn how to be self-sufficient. No. Rachel, see, you're giving these people over here too much credit. Baby.
I mean, you can do that out here, but
you can't do that here. They don't care. They don't care. They don't believe any of that BS about Southern hospitality. It is a lie. Especially if you a Yankee. They don't like you. You're one of the bad ones. You implanted yourself amongst us. Go back where you came from, Yankee. So, yeah, and I've had that happen to me. But either way, guys, remember to get your pets spayed and neutered. Remember to take care of your animals. Please don't feed them a vegan diet. Please avoid soy, wheat, corn, and all that other bullshit. Remember to tell the people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe. So I love you guys. Be safe. Horror. I love you.
Love you too. I gotta remember you're on this side, not that side.
See, what made it easier for me is that my screen is over here, so I'm actually looking at you when I do this. So it makes it a lot
Technically,
easier.
You're right in front of me. So I guess I would actually be okay if I just turned towards the mic. But
someone earlier said that when I had the mic right here, it looked like you.
Looks like you were sharing it. Yeah.
That's kind of really cute. But I love you. Be safe.
Love you.
Feel better, my darling.
Mm.
Give the puppies a kiss from me, and also let me know when you find out what's going on with the whole accidental lovemaking situation.
We're keeping track on it. So far, it doesn't look like what's taken, but we're still only about 2-3 weeks in. So,
you know, I mean, a light tap to the tummy can take care of a lot of problems. I love you, puppy. So
I wish that worked, because trust me, she wouldn't be pregnant then. Especially because I have a tendency to go in and feel, because I know where to feel now, because I've been through it a few times.
Right.
And I'm not feeling anything. She's not developing any milk. Her nipples are staying normal. She's a little run down still, but she did just come out of heat. So
also,
that could just be.
Never mind, that could be too gross. He could have just run a ragged, like, you know.
I mean,
girl.
He get the first few times I actually had to start putting a shirt on her, because he would hump her so much she would get a drool spot in the middle of her back, and then she'd jump up on me and I'd put my hand on her and I'm like, oh dear God.
That's the worst feeling in the world, when Orion and Greta play and then I'll like go to pet Greta and I'll be like,
Ugh.
You ever seen How to Train Your Dragon 2 where Astrid goes to kiss Hiccup on the cheek and she goes, ugh, ugh. Like that's the exact
Yeah.
sensation.
Yeah, no, and it's worse when you're not expecting it. Because she just comes up to you from out of nowhere, and she always crawls up on my chest right here, and I always pet her on the back, and so it's ah.
Ugh.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And with that delicious note, we are. Ugh. I can't. I love dogs. That's the one thing I do love about cats. And it's really sad, but I prefer my elderly cat to get on me and I have to clean off his doo-doo than petting my dog and getting that. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See, even you're getting grossed out.